Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, this may be the longest title for a beer I've ever seen. Should You Ever Awaken from This Impossible Illusion is a 5.8% dry hopped pale ale from Burial Beer Company in Asheville, North Carolina. This is another beer that I picked up while I was down in North Carolina on vacation, and while Burial does have a pretty good distro situation on the East Coast, they just can't seem to make it here in the Midwest. Maybe one day. I can always dream, can't I? Should You Ever Awaken from This Impossible Illusion is part of a two-part beer series Burial calls the Heavy Resin series. The other one is a double IPA that's got an 8.5% ABV. It's flip-flop from this one. Now, I only got a chance to get one, but we're going to try this one out. But first, I'd like to thank my executive producers, Brian Kramer, David Jeffries, and Cam Freeman for helping to bring this review to you today. If you'd like to become a producer, help out the channel, or maybe just throw me a couple bucks to buy me a beer, take a look at my Patreon. It's at patreon.drafttherapy.com. Thanks for asking. Where you can get early access to these videos, and there's a few other special perks that are available only to patrons. If the monetary thing isn't your thing, just please share this video. Let's spread the word. Let's get more people talking about craft beer, not only in Michigan, but across the country. Let's take a look at the label. This is one that I'm going to do the full wraparound on the label here. We're going to start on the front. It has this woman with kind of like a head wrap. It looks like a cornucopia on her head, and it has a bunch of different stuff. I mean, there's flowers all over the place. There's little butterflies and all types of stuff. Some green blobs dripping down. Has the scroll, as burials want to do. It says, "Should you ever awaken from this impossible illusion, dry hopped pale ale." And the woman is reaching out and shaking hands or holding hands with somebody. The other person she is holding hands with or shaking hands with is the person on the other can, the 8.5% double IPA. It says on the side here, "Let us suppose that each and every little thing has a consequence, and yet nothing matters at all. And so a deviation between two truths becomes you, the lifeblood of our path through existence itself, Citra, Mosaic, Simcoe, one way and not the other you knew." We see the Burial Beer Company logo, 5.8% alcohol by volume with the heavy resin words printed to let you know this is part of that series. You can see if you scan this QR code, you can buy more beer from Burial, but unfortunately they won't deliver it to Michigan because they don't allow shipping to Michigan. Thank you, Michigan. So then we have underneath that, brewed and canned by Burial Beer Company in Asheville, North Carolina. The government warning. I have no idea when this was canned because this is just a smudge on the bottom. I picked this up around June 17th, right around that time. This was new in the stores when I picked it up, so I'm going to say it's probably pretty new as of that time. I'm going to use my IPA glass here. Let's go ahead and crack it, put a nose on it, which is what we do on every single beer here on Draft Therapy because you get a different aroma from the can than you do out of the glass. It's crazy. All right, let's put a nose on it. As soon as I opened it, boom, big time, tough acting, tenactin, big time citrus, big time dank coming out of this one. A little bit of maybe a tropical aroma. Go ahead and pour it. Coming out pretty hazy just out of the can into the glass. This is a pale ale, not an IPA. This is an IPA glass. If you don't like that I poured a pale ale into an IPA glass, you can sue me on that one. So anyways, we got about 2.5 fingers of really white fluffy head. It is just super condensed, super packed. Bubbles are kind of popping a little bit here and there, but it doesn't look like it's budging at all. And if we hold it up to the light here, that is super light yellow. To you guys, it looks a little bit more lighter than it does to me. Of course, the light is shining on the front. I'm looking at it from the back. This has a nice, just straight up strict yellow. It's a little bit thinner on the bottom, but the top is straight up yellow. I can't explain that in any other simpler terms. Yellow. Head is still kicking like a champ. Let's put a nose on it here. Yeah, still getting those dank notes. I want to say I'm getting a little bit of a grapefruit. Citrus, grapefruit, dank, maybe a little bit of a tropical. But yeah, super dank, super grapefruit, lots of citrus, lots of fruity notes here. Let's go ahead and try it out. Cheers. We're going to talk about the mouthfeel first. Mouthfeel isn't quite what I expect from a pale ale. It's a little bit heavier than that. It almost shades a little bit more towards like almost like a double IPA. It's got kind of a bit of a thicker body, especially like I said for a pale. Let's go ahead and talk about the flavor here. And there's a lot going on here, so let's talk about it. So what I get, nice carbonation, not overly carbed. So just to kind of put that out there, what I'm getting on the tail is the thing that I'm picking up almost immediately on the tail as it starts to go on the swallow is this grapefruit, this citrus, bitterness, grapefruit flavor right on the back. There's this kind of floral note in there, the swirl of a tropical fruit in there as well. All the fruits, like all the tropical. It's very tropical tasting on the upfront. That's where this kind of sweet note comes through. But the sweet note lasts just like a second until it hits the crest of your tongue, and that's when you're going to start picking up on that. Those bitter notes start coming through that grapefruit. And it's the sweetness that's in there isn't overly sweet. It's not. Don't get it wrong. Like if you were to try this beer, you're not going to drink it and think to yourself, "Oh, this is like stopping at a candy shop and I'm just going to toss all these candies in my mouth. Oh, sweet." It's not that kind of sweet. It's just a really subtle sweetness. And even the bitterness isn't overly in your face. Like it's there, but you're getting all these kind of pithy notes. You're getting these citrus pithy notes like citrus peel or like citrus membrane kind of flavors. You're getting, again, you're getting the grapefruit and maybe like a bit of a citrus bitterness on the finish, but it's just a really overall very citrusy. Now, considering this is called heavy resin, I'm not necessarily picking up on a resinous flavor, like a piney flavor. That's not really a note that I pick up on any of this at any point. But yeah, it's just got a lot of that tropical kind of note, a bit of a kind of a stone fruit flavor, a stone fruit quality. There seems to be a lot more grapefruit on the finish. Grapefruit is again a note that's kind of wrapped throughout this beer, and then again, like I said, there is that kind of pithy flavor that comes through. So it's it's very flavorful at 5.8%. I almost would expect it to be maybe a little bit more flavorful, but it feels like it's got those kind of floral notes. It's just kind of muted. It's not like really bursting in your face. I think when I read a label and I see something that says heavy resin, number one, I'm going to expect, and maybe the double IPA is kind of more on that resiny side, more of that kind of piney side. But when I see something that says on the label heavy resin, I'm expecting it to be very, very resinous, like very piney bitter. But I'm not picking up on any kind of pininess throughout the entire flavor of this. I'm generally very happy with Burial Beer. I think this one is, I just think it's a bit of a miss. Like, again, you call it heavy resin, but it's not heavy, not super resinous. Maybe I'm missing something. And again, maybe that other beer, the 8.5% double IPA that they did in this series, is the one that kind of like, it leans on, like this is the lighter end of it, the kind of lighter flavor is a little bit smoother, and then you get to like the beast is the 8.5% double IPA. I really wish I would have been able to get both to kind of compare and say, oh yeah, this series is very cohesive. It's obvious that there were two beers in this set, but just going on this beer alone, because this is the only one I can get, and of course not living anywhere near distribution, I can't try the other one to say, oh, that's the redeeming one. This one just kind of falls a little flat. It's a little bit mute. Again, maybe there was something else on the other side, but unfortunately, this beer is being judged on its own merits. It has a lot of nice flavors, but I wish it had amped up those flavors that were in this beer to kind of give you a little bit more of anything because it is so muted. Again, I'm generally very happy with Burial's beer, but this one I could probably pass on for next time. All right, friends. That has been Should You Ever Awaken from This Impossible Illusion from Burial Beer Company in Asheville, North Carolina. What are some breweries that you wish hit distro near you? Let me know in the comments down below while you're down there. If you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell. I'm here talking about beer twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's all for free for viewers just like you. Doesn't cost you anything but your time, and you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribed and getting those notifications. You might not know that a beer wasn't necessarily something up your alley. There's so much stuff on the beer aisles these days. You go in and out, you have no idea, all the labels look exactly the same. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm doing here. So subscribe, check me out. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries. These guys are in Asheville, North Carolina. And until next time, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Cheers.